First reading, a reading from the book of Wisdom, chapter 2, verses 12 onwards. Ungodly men said, "Let us lie in wait for the righteous man, because he is inconvenient to us and opposes our actions. He reproaches us for sins against the law and accuses us of sins against our training. Let us see if his words are true, and let us test what will happen at the end of his life. For if the righteous man is God's son, he will help him and will deliver him from the hand of his adversaries. Let us test him with insult and torture, that we may find out how gentle he is and make trial of his forbearance. Let us condemn him to a shameful death, for according to what he says, he will be protected." Second reading. A reading from the book of James, chapter 3, verses 16 onwards. Beloved, where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. What causes quarrels and what causes fights among you? Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you? You desire and you do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask wrongly, to spend it on your passions. Third reading. A reading from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 9, verses 30 onwards. At that time, Jesus and his disciples went on from the mountain and passed through Galilee. And he did not want anyone to know, for he was teaching his disciples, saying to them, "The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him. And when he is killed, after 3 days he will rise." But they did not understand the saying, and were afraid to ask him. And they came to Capernaum. And when he was in the house, he asked them, "What were you discussing on the way?" But they kept silent. For on the way they had argued with one another about who was the greatest. And he sat down and called the 12, and he said to them, "If anyone would be first, he must be last of all, and servant of all." And he took a child, put him in the midst of them, and taking him in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me." This is the word of the Lord. The readings of this Sunday present a very grim and violent picture of what a good man will have to undergo. The first reading narrates the plot of those who oppose a good and righteous person. This description is perfectly applicable to Jesus, the righteous person who was unjustly condemned. But the death of Jesus was not merely the result of a plot by evil people. Rather, it was a divine plan. Jesus was intent on fulfilling the plan of God, and hence he was more than willing to embrace the cross and was ready for the most painful death on the cross. However, in the Gospel, we do see the contrasting characters. While Jesus is talking about his impending death, the disciples are discussing about who is the greatest. How often we get embroiled in our own ego and status, ignoring the will of God for us.